It's the EP Podcast. Evergreen Park.
And welcome into another episode of the EP Podcast. My name is Chris, and this episode has music. All kinds of music, all kinds of programs at Evergreen Park Community High School, and we'll be talking about them because the summer is not a time to stop for the music program. And also, we have a business that's been in Evergreen Park on 95th Street for several decades, and we've never had them on the show before. They make their debut later on. This episode and every episode of the EP Podcast brought to you by OSF Healthcare, OSF Little Company of Mary Medical Center. Your health, happiness, and well-being are at the heart of everything they do. Count on them to provide the care, comfort, and support you need, focused on you every step of the way, with access to technologically advanced healthcare solutions, combining innovative treatments with compassionate care to help you achieve your best possible health. Transforming healthcare, OSF Healthcare, OSF Little Company of Mary Medical Center, right here in Evergreen Park. Shocking news on Monday. I mean, it just came out as I'm getting ready to record the show. So, you know, I'm gathering it just like everybody else in the community is. But Queen of Martyrs School closing down, effective immediately. There will be no fall school at Queen of Martyrs. You want to know how much of a shock this has to be to that community? Their Sunday bulletin was talking about open house for prospective new students. And on Monday, the Archdiocese closed the doors. Now, I'm not a member of that parish, but I got to tell you, they got to be shocked. They got to feel a little betrayed. I mean, two parishes combine in Evergreen Park to make up St. Gianna. And then the school closes, I don't know, what is it, a year or so later? It's incredible to me. And for the Arch to close it, I mean, think about it. Remember when we had Doc Matthias on this program a couple of years ago? The guy who said, we're putting politics in the things with the mask. It's time to take them off the kids. Everybody else has them off. And then after he did it, a couple days later, the entire Archdiocese followed, but they got rid of their principal. And then this past school year, a guy working there that shouldn't have been there in the first place, but he had been at other Catholic schools before he got to Martyrs. Did the Archdiocese take the blame? No, the principal over there did. Enrollment goes down as a result of things like that, and now all of a sudden your school is closed. I hope the best for that community. They're lucky that Evergreen Park has a great school system. District 124 schools, we have them on all the time. An incredible school system for those that are in the EP. And then, of course, you have Most Holy Redeemer as well if they're still going forward with their Catholic education. There are schools outside of Evergreen Park. I think they're all going to land on their feet. But 2 months to figure out where your kid's going? And then also trying to figure out, can they go to the same school as their friends, like their best friends they've had for years? Just a terrible tragedy. Any way you cut it, my best to everybody affected by it. And I'm sure we'll talk about it more as the summer goes on here on the EP Podcast. Our first guest of this episode brought to you by Porter Cullen's, who offers traditional Irish cuisine, including legendary corned beef egg rolls, Guinness battered fish and chips, along with an ongoing rotation of homemade daily soups, weekly sandwich and salad specials, and monthly food and drink pairings, from fresh fish tacos to mushroom ravioli. Porter Cullen's over at 99th and Clifton Park has you covered. See everything they have going on at portercullens.com, and away we go. Joining me today on the EP Podcast, Logan Skelf is the Evergreen Park Community High School Choir Director. He's here representing the music department. I always wonder what we'll talk about during the summertime months, but there's so much going on with not only your department, the entire music department. I know there's shows coming up over the summer. The band will be marching in the parade, and it was a very successful year, so I wanted to get you in here. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So before we get into the excitement that's happening this summer, how was the year? I saw some, if not all, of your group in the music department got to go to Disney.
Yeah, so we took... Oh, goodness. I think we took almost 80 students to Disney in the spring, over spring break. That was band and choir and color guard. When we go, we get to perform on Disney's campus. The choir sings on a stage. The band marches through Magic Kingdom. And then they get to perform as like temporary cast members as well, and get to do these clinics where they learn what it's like to record in a studio or put on like a Broadway show.
So I did this in high school, and I went with the Brother Rice Band where I went there, and it was 30 years ago or so. I mean, probably even more than that. And I remember that trip finding out what the back side of Disney looked like, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the same, and I don't want Disney coming after you. So I'll say what it was like 30 years ago.
Okay.
But 30 years ago, there was an entrance by the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, like by a dumpster. I think the dumpster is fake or something like that. And then there's just a bunch of footprints, and you're supposed to follow a certain color, and any of the other colors take you down a path to a security desk. So you're warned to have to, at least 30 years ago, that's how they did it.
That's funny.
And it was like, and then if you made it down the path to the right color, you were in the back lot of Disney, where all of a sudden, like, the stuff that you're not really supposed to see, you can see.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Do they still keep up? I would imagine they changed things because people learned the secrets of Disney, but I would imagine there was a little cloak and dagger.
You know, I mean, they're always expanding and they're always making changes.
Yeah.
So that, like, the details always change, but ultimately, you get to experience that backstage. You know, it's to the point where, like, if you were to take your phone out, even to, you know, send a text or something like that,
they'll get you.
They would take it away.
A sniper will take you out.
We didn't say that. No.
You get a picture of Mickey Mouse smoking a cigarette. A sniper takes you out. That's what happens.
But it's a cool experience. And I mean, I did it in high school too. It's very once in a lifetime. You only get to perform at Disney once, unless you're going on to be a full-time cast member. So it's such a joy to be able to bring that experience with the kids.
I'm going this summer. This is the first time I've gone with my group in maybe 8 or 9 years. This is the last big trip to Disney. Because I've always said, like, I go to the Epcot thing. You go around the world, and that's fun. But I like actually going to those countries. So I don't go to Disney that often.
Yeah.
But I got talked into it by the two college kids. Like, one more time, Dad.
Yeah.
Let's do
a good
Disney.
time.
Yeah. We'll take the little guy, the 11-year-old, and we'll go. And I'm like, okay, we're going to give this a shot one more time.
Go check out the Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
Okay. That's the recommendation?
Yeah.
How is Star Wars World good?
Star Wars World is good,
I don't
too.
want it to disappoint me, and I'm worried it's going to.
We sat through several 2-hour plus lines because we didn't have any of the Fast Pass stuff. And I mean, we had a great time.
You still had a good time.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. Okay. Enough about my Disney trip. Let's talk about what you guys are doing. You have the 4th of July parade coming up with the band. Okay. I think your band director is currently doing something else right now. He's like not in town.
Yeah.
So
he's out of the country. He's actually getting married.
Wow. Big news for him too. Wow, busy summer for you guys. Okay, so congratulations. And then the parade is coming up. Now I'll be covering the parade. Who marches? Is it just the band? Does your choir get to be in it? What is everybody doing in it?
The choir doesn't participate, but the band and the color guard do.
Okay.
Now we have a lot of crossover, so most of our students participate in at least 2 of the 3 activities that we offer between band, choir, and color guard. So the band is marching. That's on June 26th. I believe that they step off at 6:30 p.m. This is a really long tradition for the band. They performed there for as long as I know. Actually next week, I believe, or the week after next, they're having a mini camp. Where they're going to put together the song that they're playing, which is Shut Up and Dance. They're going to learn how to march. They're going to learn all those basics before they go put that on the streets.
You're working the freshmen in now, right? The incoming freshmen, are they part of this?
They get to be part of it, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because teaching a freshman how to march is a thing.
Exactly.
I'm a band nerd, so I mean, teaching a freshman how to march is a thing. Like, how to use your left and your right foot is a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and any kid that participates in band at EP does the marching band. So this is a great way to get them in it before they start having their competition season in the fall. This competition season, this fall, they're doing 2 additional competitions from what they've done. So I believe now they're at 4 competitions rather than 2.
Really?
So they're really trying to get that ball rolling early so that they can find success in the fall.
So I marched in a lot of parades. And some of them are like a couple blocks long, like downtown. Some of them are long. Southside Irish Parade is long. Okay, this parade's long. This is like, I mean, is this one of these things where you got to gear the kids up for the idea of like, hey, pace yourself on this thing? And because this is not something that takes about 5 minutes here. You're going for a while. And I would imagine with the younger kids, that is also something that is kind of a shock to them.
Yeah, and that's why they have those long camp days that kind of prepare them for the, you're working for several hours until you're done. And then hopefully that, 30-minute to an hour-long parade is much easier. We're really, really grateful for all of our parent volunteers that come along as well.
You always seem to have a ton of them around when I see the band doing stuff.
We've got a really wonderful booster organization, and they do a lot of that organization that provides those volunteers, but they're going to be there to help provide water, pass out candy, everything like that, just to kind of keep that morale up.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I hope your band program remains strong. My former band, there are times where I get very disappointed. I don't like to besmirch my alma mater over a Brother Rice, but it used to be just the greatest band in the world. You walk through the hallway, there's not one picture of it. And I think they won like all kinds of championships.
Yeah.
And they kind of got forgotten over the last few years. So I never forget your music program. I'm proud of EPCHS to not forget their music program.
Yeah. Mr. Corello is doing a really good job taking up the reins from Mr. Kazin. And we're really, really grateful for our administration that constantly kind of keeps that in the forefront by, reaching out to news outlets, reaching out to you and trying to get us these spots. So we appreciate it.
Very good. Okay, so now you got some performances coming up this summer. Tell people about it.
Yeah, so we have our Spotlight on 99th Theater Summer Camp. This is the first year that we're putting on 2 different shows for that. So normally we do one big show for the kids in elementary school and the kids in high school. This is the first year that we've kind of split that in half. So there's 2 shows. The first for the younger kids is Disney's Dare to Dream Junior, which features 49 students in grades 4 through 8. It's a musical review that includes 22 different Disney songs from both the older eras and the newer ones. And those shows are Thursday, June 25th at 7 p.m. and Friday, June 26th at 10 a.m. Then the older kids are putting on a production of Fame Junior, which features 35 high school students, again, including those up-and-coming freshmen. It's going to be a trip back to the 80s following the story of a New York City performing arts high school. So that is Saturday, June 27th at 7 p.m. and Sunday, June 28th at 2 p.m. Those tickets are $6 for adults and $5 for students and seniors, and you can find the ticket links at epchsbands.org.
That's awesome. Make sure you check those out. Those are always really great performances. I know you're directing the choir, Logan. To me, that was always something where you have some kids, they want to sing. But then that always seemed to be a group where you also had reluctant singers that figured out they could sing. Is it still kind of that way? Like, do you have kids that show up and say, this is what I want to do, and then kids that show up because one of their friends dragged them there or somebody noticed something about them, and then they turn into like the biggest choir member? It always kind of strikes me that I saw that when I was younger, and I've even seen that as I'm older with choirs.
That's a really fun thing to watch throughout the year. We have a lunch choir at EPCHS. That's our curricular choir during the day.
Okay.
And that's kind of a come y'all choir is what I like to call it. It's everybody come and sing. It doesn't matter if you've tried it before. Bring your friends. And, we've got kids that show up on the first day being like, oh, I'm just here because my brother made me do this. I don't want to do it, or whatever, kind of backstory they bring with them. But the great thing about choir is you don't need to buy an instrument. You don't need to spend hours a day practicing. You are your instrument, and there's a lot of identity tied to that. And it's cool to see the kids realize, their voice within that community of choir.
I feel like a lot of adults that I meet haven't figured out their voice yet. I would think that when you have kids that, get over their fears with each other, that creates a lot of friendships as well. Because you do have some that are like, okay, I'm just going to go home and jump on my video game system for 10 hours. I think it's a good thing when they're involved in something, because not everybody is going to play for the football team, and not everybody is going to play basketball, and not everybody's going to play, a major sport or something like that. But this is something that I always feel like music programs, choir programs, this is where the shy kid finds their voice. This is where later on in life, they're like, I used to be really, really shy. You'd be surprised to hear that. And somebody's like, yeah, I am surprised, because a change happens in a group like this. Am I far off with that?
No, you're not. And it's sweet to hear you recognize that. Yeah, that's, to me, like, that's the reason you do it. And it's really great that it provides that opportunity. I hope that it continues to provide that opportunity. And it's cool to see the kids who the year before joined just because my friend was in it, and the next year they're auditioning for Madrigals or Unaccompanied Minors, that a cappella group, or the musical or something like that. We welcome one and all, and we're glad to have them.
That's awesome. You got the parade coming up now on the 26th, the big 4th of July parade or Independence Day parade that's going on in Evergreen Park. I will be out there. You got the band out there. The color guard's going to be out there. You guys went to Disney. I know you were on television or something like that. Did you get featured? Who featured you again?
Oh, I can't remember what station it was.
I'm going to look it up real quick because I had notes. ABC 7.
Yes.
Did Making Chicago Proud. Okay, so what was that? Like they just kind of picked a band? Was there a reason for it?
We had a great busy day. All those days at Disney were so long.
Yeah.
But the band performed in the parade.
And then ABC 7 was like, we got to show this.
We got a good clip and sent it into the school. The school posted it, and then ABC 7 reached out. And we submitted a statement that night, and it was on the news that night.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Anytime you get a little bit of pub, I feel like the South Side gets forgotten all the time, and so I like it when downtown the media agencies and they recognize what's going on down here with the schools. Heck, the EP podcast doesn't exist if they paid attention more to the South Side of the city. So I actually, you know what? Leave us alone. I'm doing real well down here. Logan, if somebody is coming into Evergreen Park Community High School, they want to be part of the band, they want to be part of the color guard, they want to be part of the choir, what's their path?
We've got so many opportunities to enter. Color guard hosts clinics in the spring that kind of teach you how to do the basics. Anybody can join choir at pretty much any time. I welcome them and we teach them how to get going. We have a beginning band class that's really helpful for kids that are looking to join no matter what age they are. And then a sleeper that's really great is our rock band classes. Because rock band is one of those things where you can pick up an instrument in those classes and learn how to play music that's good right away. And then those are we get a lot of kids that take those rock band classes and turn around and join something else the next year. So if we've got any listeners that are freshmen or kids at EP that want to get in the music program, any of those are great options.
Awesome. The music, the arts, they're live at EPCHS. Logan, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Enjoy the summer. Good luck with the next school year.
Thanks so much.
Life changes fast. Is your life insurance keeping up? Choose Samantha Ingalls from Country Insurance, because whether you have life insurance now or this is all new to you, the right life insurance will help you feel protected with a monthly premium that won't shrink your wallet. Samantha is your local agent. Choose life insurance with her that does more to protect you along the way. Call Samantha at 773-937-2024 to get a quote today. Life insurance policies issued by Country Life Insurance Company and Country Investors Life Assurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. It is now time for your EP podcast, Word on the Street, brought to you by Spoken Vine Wine Bar and Bottle Shop, northeast corner of 95th and Kedzie. The EP Podcast Studios in July now, expected to make our home there. I'm very excited about that. They've got some great wine tasting events. I believe a Chilean wine tasting event coming up here on the 19th. Get to SpokenVineWines.com for more details. And then, of course, the lunch menu, the incredible dinner menu, the amazing array of wines. If you have not been there yet, get yourself over to Spoke and Vine. There is going to be a public open house talking about Yukich Field improvements on Tuesday, the day this episode comes out, June 16th, at 5 p.m. at the Evergreen Park Community Center, 3450 West 97th Street. The Village is hosting a public open house to share exciting proposed improvements to Yukich Field, and they want your input. So if you want to be involved, go learn about the potential updates to one of our community's most cherished parks. This is your chance to help shape the future of those fields. Preliminary plans, question and answers, share your preferences for new amenities and features. Again, Tuesday, June 16th, 5 p.m. at the Community Center, 3450 West 97th Street. All ages welcome, and there'll be light refreshments as well. Following last week's storms, the Village of Evergreen Park wants to remind you that residents should be cautious of door-to-door solicitors offering repair services like roofing, tree removal, debris cleanup. All solicitors must be registered with the village prior to doing any door-to-door business. You can request proof of village registration before even continuing the conversation with them. If a solicitor cannot provide verification, call the Evergreen Park Police Department. And if you feel like you can't get through, if it's an emergency, 911. And the 2026 Summer Concert Series kicks off on June 21st, this Sunday, with the Stingrays performing at 6 p.m. at Klein Park, Cokes and Folks, Neverly Brothers, Juke Shakers, Liam Durkin, and a big Labor Day concert and fireworks spectacular, all on tap this summer. For more details, the most recent episode of the EP podcast had Kelly on from the rec department, and she talked all about it. We move on to our second guest of the show right here on the EP podcast.
Let me tell you about the guy that's sitting right next to me here. Mubarak has an incredible business that's along 95th Street, and you've seen it before. As you drive down 95th, I guarantee you've seen the sign hanging out, full color display. It's Hyatt Home Medical Equipment, and you may not know exactly what it is, but it's the kind of business that you want here in Evergreen Park that a lot of other communities wish they had in Evergreen Park. And today we're going to meet a neighbor and sit down at Hyatt and learn all about it. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Look, I know all about this place. You guys are a proud sponsor of one of my other podcasts, Socks in the Basement, and we've never had a chance to sit down and put you on the EP podcast, and that's a crime. Because I'll be honest with you, this place has been thriving along 95th Street, and I don't think people understand that they may have a need for it. I know that one of the things you specialize is the idea that mom and dad are getting older, grandma and grandpa are getting older, they don't want to move out of their home, they don't want to go into assisted living. How do you make them comfortable? How do you make it safe in their house? Mm-hmm. But then you also have things here that people that have minor injuries or need compression socks or may need a brace for something, mm-hmm. or just little things. You also have that available here. Describe your business to me in your own words.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate, and I hope everyone out there can get to know us a little bit more. So like you said, Hyatt Home Medical Equipment. We're here on 95th Street between Pulaski and Kedzie, right off St. Louis, actually, across the street from the Evergreen Car Wash. That's been around here for a while, so a lot of people know the car wash. We've actually been here for a while, too. We opened our doors in 2003. So we're about, 24 years now, and we were a smaller location. We've expanded, same spot, but just took over the building next door, and been serving the community and Chicagoland area at large, but specifically Evergreen Park for the last 24 years. So like you said, we deal with home medical equipment, anything that somebody would use in the home. The industry is called a DME, or durable medical industry, and that's more the medical term or insurance term. If you have DME coverage, the majority of the products are covered if you have DME coverage. So anything you would use in a home. So anything from a wheelchair, walkers, crutches, compression stockings, like you said, hospital beds, oxygen, CPAP therapy, and the list goes on. So we'll get into more details as we discuss. But yeah, we're here with any kind of home medical equipment.
Well, the thing that I noticed right away, it's not the way that people remember. Like my generation, if I had a grandparent that had some ailments and mm-hmm. you went to their place and they had medical equipment, it was very obvious they had medical equipment. Right. I mean, like the beds mm-hmm. were bulky, mm-hmm. the chairs were bulky, everything was just steel, it was mm-hmm. ugly. Yeah. The first thing I noticed when I walk into your showroom is that the leather couches that you have that I believe are lift chairs,
correct,
they look nicer than the ones that I would buy at the store for myself.
Right.
And you can like design them and you can pick out the fabric that you want, you can make mm-hmm. it match like your living room. The beds that you have, they look like a normal bed, and then right. suddenly, oh my goodness, it like sits up and it turns and it helps mm-hmm. them get out of the bed. And even like the designs that you have with bathrooms, You have like bars that people can hold on to, or things that you can do with the tub so that somebody can get in and out of it, and you can redesign it so it just opens up so they can get in there, so they don't have to step over. You set up the showers a certain way, but everything looks like it's almost like luxury. It looks like when I go and I rent an Airbnb and I'm on vacation someplace.
Yeah, the industry has definitely evolved over the years. I mean, especially after COVID, living at home and aging in place. That's the common, term that's used. When you age in place, you don't want to be put in a home. You don't want to be, nursing homes and these kind of facilities. If you can afford and have the benefit of living at home, all of these products that you just mentioned, they become more designed and more aesthetic, more pleasing, and they don't look like medical equipment. So the lift chair you're talking about, a lot of us have, the Lazy Boy or the recliner, but this one has an additional feature that it lifts you up. So if someone who has bad knees or arthritis or just, trouble getting up, there's a feature that you hit the button and then it raises you all the way up. But at the same time, it goes back and you can sleep in it. It's got massaging options if you want. It's got heated options. I mean, just like you said, and all the different color and fabric, leather, and so on and so forth. They have the same feature in the hospital bed now, where it doesn't look like a hospital bed. It looks like a normal bed. And it's got the headboard, footboards. You can get different options, colors, but it has the functionality of a hospital bed, where if you need to lift your legs due to heart conditions, or you need to sleep at an elevated, headrest. And then there's the new one. It's called the MedMiser bed. It's will actually come from a reclining position into a full sitting position to help you get out of bed. So all of these, the grab bars you talked about, there's the simple chrome ones, those are the economy ones. But then there's colorful ones. There's one that have lights in them with LEDs. They'll come in all different colors, sizes, lengths, and so forth. And you can have them installed. We do the installation if you like. And so, yeah, they all now are very, aesthetically pleasing to look at in your home, and they don't look like a medical equipment that you were talking about in the past.
I've been thinking about you a lot. I mean, actually, in the last week, Carol Kyle, village trustee, was on the last episode of the EP podcast, and she made mention. It was a lot of people might have missed it. You can go back and check it out in the last episode about the idea that you have elderly people in Evergreen, and sometimes they prefer to just have a single level home because it gets hard to move around.
Right.
And but what you do is you give the ability for people who don't have a single level home, who have gotten older, to figure out how to still navigate the home. Like I have two parents. One has 2 knee reconstructions, and the other one has a replacement knee.
Yeah.
And they have multi-levels in their place. And it's something that we've talked about recently. Like, this, it doesn't need to be that hard because
Right.
I've been in here before and I know what you have.
Yeah, our motto is switch to a new age of life.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is, we're all going to age, and we want to be still independent as we grow older. We don't want to rely as much as we, as we can with, others. So, with this independence, comes these different options and flexibilities of, staying in your home and being able to be independent with you and your partner and not relying on, too many people, if you don't need to.
We're sitting in one of the testing rooms that you have.
Correct.
For CPAP machines.
Right.
And I think this is a great idea because I remember my dad got his first one, and he sounded like Darth Vader. Like we went on a trip. We went to Italy as a family. We rented a villa, and in like this stone villa in northern Italy where everything echoed to begin with, you could hear it when he plugged that thing in, and it sounded awful. He had to bring like a pan to put underneath it, and the setup, it was all bulky and everything like that. And that's what I always imagined them to be. And I would imagine it's uncomfortable for somebody to figure out which type they want to use. But I look around here; these things are small, compact.
Yeah.
They look like they run on almost basically like a silent mode, some of them, and you can test them here.
Yeah. So CPAP therapy, that's very common these days. It's still actually underdiagnosed. A lot of people don't realize they have it, but it's definitely something that helps people when they're sleeping. They get a much better night's sleep. And so, in the room that we're sitting in is a setup room that we have, and we bring in a customer. We fit him with different masks to make sure he gets the proper seal. The whole idea is to bring the airway down through your passageway, and because it gets blocked. That's something that we test here. You sit in the room, we turn off the lights, we use one of those lift chairs we talked about earlier. We recline you, let you test it out for 10, 15 minutes. We've actually had people fall asleep during this test.
I mean, it's a comfortable room.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've sat in the lift chairs before.
Right.
I have.
Yeah.
I've come in here. I've tried them out. You can fall asleep in that chair.
It's they fall asleep because they haven't had therapy, forever, and they haven't had a good night's sleep, and then this thing just knocks you out when your body's asking for it, and so we're like waking up, and and so it's happened, and it really helps a lot of people. I have another quick story. We've had many couples that come to us and say, "You've actually saved our marriage." And because of the snoring, one of the spouse will, usually it's the man, but he very loud snoring, like you talked about,
right.
your father, and then the spouse, the wife, she can't sleep, and they get irritable, and they get fighting, and this and this and this, and it gets to a certain point, and they're almost going to get divorced, and then they finally go see the doctor, get a sleep study done, get a CPAP, and it's really easy to use. After a few days you get used to it. We fit you with the proper one. You don't hear the machine. It is practically silent. It's completely silent. The only thing you'll hear is if there's an air leak coming out of the mask, and otherwise you won't hear anything. And they come and they say, "You saved our marriage. The guy's sleeping, no more sound. I can sleep next to him in the same bed." And you get nice stories like that.
I love that story, but it also makes me laugh because in my experience, ladies, you snore too. You don't think you do, and then you find out that they do.
Our CPAP population is almost 50-50 male-female. Yeah.
So, in Evergreen Park for over 2 decades.
Yeah.
Tell me about that experience. You've had a couple of different mayors in Evergreen Park at the time.
Correct.
But it's a very business-forward community. I always tend to find from when I talk with business owners that they're kind of astounded by how well the village tries to work with them. And what has it been like, your experience here in the EP?
So Evergreen Park has been great. From the beginning. We're right on 95th, 3518, and we chose this location primarily because it's in between 2 major hospitals. So we got a mile and a half west of us, there's Christ Hospital, and east of us, there what used to be called Little Company of Mary.
It's Little Company of Mary Medical Center, OSF. They're a sponsor of the show, so I want to give them their plug in the middle of this.
I'll definitely plug them. I had all 4 of my children there.
Oh, there you go.
All 4 of my children were born there. This was the old building, though.
Yes.
Once they tore down that old building, I told my wife, we can't have any more kids.
It's a good reason right there. You always got to find the reason.
Yeah, I got to find the reason.
Yeah.
So I told her, I'm sorry, look, the old building's no. But anyway, so that's why we chose the location. It's a little mini medical district on 95th Street. But Evergreen's been great. We were with Mayor Sexton in the past. Now it's Mayor Burke. When we expanded the permit process, everything went very smoothly. We actually are part of a TIF district within Evergreen Park, and we applied for that. We got some TIF reimbursement funds to change the front facade and all of that. We had an old regular sign. We went up with the LED sign, and so it's been very good. I was just at the yearly meeting that they have with local businesses last week. It was in the village hall. Met with the mayor again and so forth. So overall, it's been great. They keep the street clean. They keep the sidewalks. The 4th of July parade, comes through right in front of our store. I've had, no complaints with the village.
That's awesome. All right. So if somebody is sitting at home and they're thinking to themselves, okay, maybe I need a chair. Maybe I need a ramp. Maybe I just need some compression socks. And you also have, I want to say you have monitors for those that have diabetes.
Yeah.
It's not just the big stuff, it's the little stuff. What's the best way for them to go to you? Do they first go to their insurance and make sure that it works? Do you guys work with the insurance for them?
Yeah.
How do you suggest that somebody approach you?
So, we work with the majority of insurances, Medicare, most Medicaids, the managed cares, and commercial insurances. 95% of the items are covered. Some items, there's always exceptions, obviously, for things that are not. So a lot of times you get diagnosed with something from your physician, and they will send you to a supplier like us. They usually work with certain suppliers. You have to kind of say, well, I know Hyatt Home Medical. I want you to send my order to them.
Okay.
So that the typical way is coming through your physician, because if you don't know you have sleep apnea and then you get diagnosed, you go through the whole process, they might send you somewhere else. But if you're familiar with us and you want to use us, then you have to tell them, no, I want to use Hyatt Home Medical, and it's your right as the patient. It's not the doctor's choice. They can recommend places, but it's your right in the end.
And you can learn more about it. You have a website too.
Yes, we have a website. It's HHME, which stands for Hyatt Home Medical Equipment.com. And it has all our information there, has our history and has information. We recently launched a new e-commerce platform on that website. It goes through a partner company. It's like a third-party fulfillment center, but you'll see the button there just says Shop Now or Shop Supplies, and you click on that and you can buy lots of stuff that we don't necessarily stock in our showroom. There's only so much you can display in our showroom. So anything that you're familiar with, you want to buy, you can come on in. We can order it for you. You can go through the website. It can be shipped to you, and we do deliver the bigger items for free in general, with some exceptions. But if you need a CPAP supplies, we ship them to you for free. If you need a CPAP itself, and you're familiar with it, and you get a replacement, most insurances replace CPAPs every 5 years. So if you just want the newer model, we just ship it to you. There's no charge. So there's many ways you can come into the store. We like people to come in the store because it kind of, you can see the different options, the different models, the different items. If you need any bath aids, for example, there's 4 different kinds of shower chairs. There's one that's a very basic one. There's one with handles. There's one that swivels. There's a larger one if you have bigger space that you want to use. So it's nice to come. You see the different options within the store, but all means is available. We're right on 95th. There's street parking.
And you got lots of street parking.
Yeah, lots of street
where
parking.
You're located at. There's a lot of I never have a problem in front of your spot.
We're handicap accessible. The front door opens, automatically. I mean, we've come a long way, and we have a lot of different varieties in the store that you can come by and see.
Awesome. Hyatt Home Medical Equipment, a place, think about it, here for several decades. You've probably driven by it a bunch of times. When you're ready to use them, when you're looking for one of these things, this is your friendly neighborhood place to go do it.
We're a service that we hope you never need.
Right.
But we all
get old.
We all get old. We all age, and it's inevitable.
Starts with reading glasses, and next thing you know, you need a lift chair. That's life.
So, and you don't know until you need it. That's when then you're like, oh, where did I hear about it? Oh, I heard about it on the EP podcast or Socks in the Basement or different places. But yeah, definitely, we're here to help.
Perfect. Thank you so much for showing us around.
All right. You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
It's the EP Podcast. All things Evergreen Park. It's the EP Podcast. Evergreen Park.